Welcome to Psych Night Live with your host, narrator, Nick.
Welcome back to another episode of Psych Night Live. Now, recently we've been catching up with some gentlemen representing the 3 stages of adulthood. We've got one more guest to talk to, and he represents the last and final stage of late adulthood, which means he's somewhere between the age of 65 and death. You know what? That should sound ominous, but I'd be lying if I told you I didn't envy this group of late adults and their retirement status. I can't even imagine. No more daily grind of work, living on a fixed income, not waking up at the crack of dawn to get a head start on everything that I'll inevitably fall behind on. Sounds like the dream. This late group of adults includes every one of your grandparents, well, most of your grandparents. Someone from this late stage of life will undoubtedly tell you things were different when they were young. Yeah, we hear you, Grandpa. Modern living with these .coms and cell phones is a crime against humanity. Hey, you know that sound? Let's get psychological. Yeah, all right. Our favorite adulthood theorist, Erickson, calls this late stage of living integrity versus despair. During this point in their lives, older adults are looking back on their life that they've led and reflect on what they did right and anything and everything they should have done differently. At this age, late adults have seen some things. They've lived life, some hard and some easy. Dare I say it? These older folks are full of wisdom and usually love to share what they know with others. Tonight, let's welcome one of our favorite guests, Mr. Leonard. Hey, Mr. Leonard. How are you?
What? I can't hear you. You asked who I am, Sharon. Where we at? He asked where we stand. Oh, we in Tampa. Yeah, that's in Florida. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're in Tampa. But I was asking, how are you?
Oh, how am I? Well, I saw the doctor last week. He said I got to get this blood pressure down, and I need to walk more. Where am I gonna walk? He said I'm gonna lace up some shoes, wear a sweatband, jog the block. I got bunions. I had both knees replaced. He insane. You know what he told me? He told me he want me to work on changing my diet and eat less salt. You know what I said to that? I said you can go straight to.
All right. Glad to hear you're still doing well. Well, thanks for joining us. Last time you and I talked, you told me about your kids and your grandkids. You told me all about your career in the military and about all the charitable organizations that you've worked with over the years. You've really done some pretty amazing things and lived a full life.
Hey, you bet your
language, Mr. Leonard. We're live.
You better believe I lived a full life. But I'm not dead yet. You talking like this is the end. Listen here, young buck. Don't try to kill me off on this show. I'm going to casino night at the community center next Monday. As for my life, though, the things I can tell you about where I've been, what I've done, you feel like your life was wasting away, kid. Did I tell you about the time I landed a plane in the middle of the Great Rocky Mountains? Yeah, shoot, Sharon will tell you. I talked about that for years. People talked about it for years, too. In fact, that's how I met my wife. She couldn't keep her eyes off me. You know what? You know what they used to call those eyes? Bedroom eyes.
So according to Erickson, you're living your best life in the stage of integrity. Does that sound like you, Mr. Leonard? Fully accepting of a life well led, feel a sense of wholeness, have little regret, feel at peace, have a sense of success, and feel wisdom and acceptance for all that you've done?
Kid, you just described me as if I was going to describe myself.
Better than the alternative of being in the stage of despair, am I right? Where you look back on your life and feel bitterness, regret, depressed, hopeless, or like you've wasted your life being unproductive.
I played poker with a few guys like that. I tell you what, I feel like someone hit me over the head and pushed me out of a moving car listening to those train wrecks. Boy, we're responsible for our actions. So, tell you what, if we continue to make dumb decisions in life, there's no one to blame when we get to them golden years of our life and had nothing to show for them.
You know, Mr. Leonard, the stage of despair can sometimes occur after retirement, the loss of a spouse or friends, or facing the diagnosis of a terminal disease or illness. I don't know if all the people in late adulthood just made bad decisions.
You right. But they can buck up and focus on things that went well. We all gonna die. We gonna meet our maker. That's what Mama used to say. So why not figure out a way to enjoy the time we had left, make our mark, and leave a strong legacy before we make our great and final exit?
Agreed. Wise words, Mr. Leonard. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate your time as always.
Sure, you bet, young buck. Sharon, how you hang this thing up? You wait for a button to light up, or you just close it? Oh, I'm gonna close it.
Integrity versus despair both chronicle the later stages. Sometimes it's easier to look at mistakes rather than accomplishments. But since this is the final stage, it is important to balance these feelings.